All right. So, linear growth, we said creates a line. Linear, line.
Mm-hmm.
Linear growth is an arithmetic sequence, which means the pattern is I'm adding or subtracting the same number over again. If I'm adding, the slope is positive and my line goes up. If it's negative, the slope goes down. Okay? So, definition of the slope is the difference between terms of a sequence. That is constant. So what that means is I have to add or subtract the same number over and over and over again. So that's the first thing you're going to have to be able to do, which we've been wrong. Okay. So if you take a look at part A, we're right at the bottom of that page where we have the graph at the top. We left off here yesterday. We're right at the bottom of that page. Okay. All right, so if you take a look at A, we go from 3 to 7 to 11 to 15 to 19. What's happening?
Plus 4 to A.
Plus 4. So my common difference, my D value is 4. Okay. B, what's happening? A lot. It's decreasing by 7. So that means my D value is negative 7 because it's decreasing. Okay, it's going down. C, what's happening? That sounds so good.
It's going down 26.
It's going down by 26. Okay, so with this information, you should be able to write 2 types of equations. The one is the one that we talked about in chapter 9. Okay, where I said the recursive formula was P sub n. I just dropped my pen. P sub n equals P sub n minus 1, and you either have to add or subtract your D value. So get that down, and I'll explain what that means again so everybody's on the same page. I'll pick up my pen. Okay, so all this formula tells you is I need to use, if I'm trying to find 7, I have to go back and use the number that comes before that. That's your P sub n minus 1. So I would use 3, and then I would add 4 to get to 7. To get 11, I would go back to 7, add 4 to go to 11. To get 15, I would go backwards to 11. So to get this next number, I would go to 19 and add 4. That's what that formula tells you. Now, what becomes an issue with this formula is, holy crap, if I tell you I want the 208th number in that sequence, you'd have to sit there and add 4, and add 4, and add 4, and add 4, and add 4. Okay, that sucks. So there is a shortcut. We talked about it yesterday. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, y equals mx plus b. So this will give you any number in the sequence that you want. So your m is now your D value. So instead of calling it M, it's now D. Instead of B, we use P sub 0. Okay. I can also give you this second equation. Okay. You do get a formula sheet for this class. They give you 4 formulas. Okay. They give you how to find a term of an arithmetic sequence. They give you how to find the sum of the arithmetic sequence, and they do the same thing for geometric. That's all you get though. 4 formulas. Okay. The formula they use is not the one that we're going to use. This one's super easy. The one that they're going to give you is a pain in the butt. Okay. So I'm going to give it to you, but we're really not going to use it. Because I really think it's easier for you to just memorize y equals mx plus b. Okay, so what they tell you and what they give you is if you're not given that initial number. If you're not given that initial number, you use a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. There's just way too many things going on in that. And it's going to take you twice as long to use that formula to do all of these problems. Okay. So we kind of all right, so let's work some of these problems and come up with these equations, my friends. So if you flip the page, you should find this at the top. So we're going to practice the part that you need from chapter 9. And we're going to practice coming up with explicit formulas as well. So before you do anything, you first want to indicate what p sub 0 is. What's the first number in your sequence? 7. Okay, then I want to come up with my d value. What's happening in this pattern?
Going up.
It's going up?
6.
6. So positive 6. So recursively, your equation would be p sub n equals p sub n minus 1. That part never changes on your recursive formula. P sub n equals p sub n minus 1. You need to tell me to go back to the term before it. And what am I doing? Well, I'm adding 6. Your explicit formula then would technically be p sub n equals. Your slope comes first, just like mx plus b. So my slope here is 6. That's your d value. And instead of using x's, we're now changing to n's. If you want to stick with y and x, that's fine. Does not matter. So slope times n plus 7. So what this does is if I want to find the third number in this sequence, I would plug in 3. What's 6 times 3 plus 7? Let's say if I want to find p sub 3. That's p sub 3 equals 6 times 3 plus 7. What's 6 times 3?
18.
Plus 7?
Is it 18?
Mm-hmm. You're right. Plus 7.
Plus 7?
25.
Who did it? Come on. You
Look.
didn't give me a chance. Oh. I was trying to do the math.
So I can now tell you that I want the 207th term in that sequence, and you plug in 207. Okay? So this is why we prefer this one, because I don't have to sit there and go over and over and over again. This just automatically gives me the answer. Okay? So let's do the next one. What is my first initial value? Negative 3. What's my pattern? What's happening?
2. That's going up 2.
Okay, it's going up by 2. Good. So that means I need to go backwards by 1 and add 2 to it every time to get my next number recursively. So then explicitly, that's p sub n equals
2n.
2n minus 3.
Yeah.
Okay, your pattern always goes with the n, and your initial value is always what's added or subtracted to the outside. Okay? P sub 0 and d.
2.
Okay, 2.
Negative 5.
Negative 5. So This tells me that I would need to go back to the number before and subtract 5. And explicitly, this would be P sub n equals
5. -5.
-5. Don't lose that negative. N
Plus 2.
plus 2. Try D and E real fast,
Good stuff.
and we'll go over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try D and E. If you want me to come and look at it, I can. Before we go over it, that's fine. But try it on your own. You have this little hole on the paper.
No.
Yeah, Charles, come on. You got this. I got this. How many spaces are these apart? 3. 3.
This is correct.
Yes.
Freaking thing is this big. God.
What's happening? Well, from -3 to 6.
That's
It's 3. And is it going up or down?
Yeah.
Yeah. So -3. Okay, so your pattern's -3, so that's your D value. Where are you getting -6 from?
Shit.
So your pattern is -3, so that's your D value. And what's your P sub 0 value? What's your starting number? So P sub 0 is -3, your D is also. Okay, these are good. Go ahead and try to write your formulas. Yes. Whew. That's good. Yes.
Oh my God.
P sub 0 is -3. That's your D value also. That looks fantastic. This also looks fantastic. And what you have written here is also fantastic. You second guess yourself too much. That looks awesome. Okay, you've got everything. Now you just gotta plug them into your formulas. Plug them in, plug them in. Thanks, friend. Now, if you were doing your work, that'd have been a different story. Chicken. Chicken? Chicken. That looks fantastic. I'm so glad you're back. I've missed you. You've got the P0 and the D. Good. We're looking good, guys.
Better than your third?
Smith.
Oh, I always forget that you're up here. Yes, you're perfect. I did. Oh no. Last period, I got so excited because Odessa got it right, and I went, and she jumped like 10 feet in the air. I can't help it. I get excited when the kids that sit there and tell me all the time, I can't do math, I can't get this, I can't get this. And then like they sit down and actually do it, and I'm like, uh-huh. You tell me you can't.
I don't tell you I can't. I just tell you I don't like to.
All right, so your P sub 0 value for part D should have been -3. That's what we start with. And if you look at your pattern is also -3. It's going down by 3 each time. Okay, the negative tells you that you're going down, and the 3 is the space between your numbers. Okay, so that means recursively, I need to go 1 space back and subtract 3. So that should have been your recursive sequence, or your recursive formula. When you go to do the explicit formula, my slope or my D value is -3n, and I start at -3. And for part E, your P sub 0 value should have been 42,
19.
and 19 is your D value, and it's going up, so your D value is positive. So again, recursively, I need to go back 1 number and add 19 to keep my pattern going. And explicitly, I need to take 19 times n and add 42 because I need to add my starting point. Okay, how are we feeling?
Mm.
Not bad.
Does it get worse?
Does it get worse? Yes. I tried to think of a nicer way to say that, but no, yes, it gets worse. Okay, so while you need to keep the recursive formula in the back of your mind, the one we're really going to use is that explicit formula. So if I give you that P sub 0 is 8 and D is 3, what does my explicit formula look like? P sub n equals. What number goes in front of n?
3n. 3
3, that's my D value,
plus 8.
plus 8.
And so wait, it says find P16, so that means we replace 16 with n.
Yes. So now it wants me to find P sub 16. So P sub 16 means that I'm going to take 16 and I'm going to plug it in for n and add 8.
There we go.
No, let me just give you all the answers.
See it make life.
56. 56. Okay? When they give you one, that they just give you the sequence. What's P sub 0? Just like we did in the last
5.3. 5.3.
5.3. I also need to find my D value. 0.6. Okay, so they didn't give you the information that you want. You have to actually figure it out. But now I can create my equation. P sub n equals 0.6 n plus 5.3.
Okay.
So you have to do a little bit more exploration here. But now they want me to find P sub 39.
Okay.
So I'm plugging in 39. What do we get? Just think how many times you would have had to sat there and added 5.3, 5.3, 5.3 to get clear down to the 39th number. Okay. Finally, C. Uh-oh. Of course, they had to throw fractions in there. I wouldn't even go that far. I'd make them a decimal. So what's 1.5 as a decimal?
0.5. Or 50.
1.5?
Oh, well, yeah.
1.5?
375.
3.75. Okay, so she said the difference is 2.25. As long as your points are one space away from each other, you can do that. Okay, so they give me the second number and the third number. They're one space away from each other. So what I have right now is nothing, nothing. This is 1.5, and this is 3.75. Well, in order to do my equation, I need this number. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Skiddios. How do I do that?
You subtract it.
Oh, imagine that. Okay, so to go from here to here, I would add 2.25. To go backwards, though, I can subtract. I can do the opposite. So what does that make P sub 1? If I subtract 2.25 from 1.5.
No, wait, hold on, no.
Negative 75.
Negative 0.75. I need to go one more space because I need that P sub 0. So what does that give me?
-3.
Negative 3. So now I know that P sub 0 is negative 3. So then my equation, I'm going to switch back to red here. I'm just dropping everything today, Butterfingers. P sub n equals, now I've got 2.25 n minus 3. And again, they want P sub 36. So I'm typing in 36 for n. So what does that give me for P sub 36? What number is in the 36 spot?
$78.
78. Question.
No.
Okay. So, of course, you know, I've got some word problems. Like this one. Cosmic Java has opened in 2005 with 370 coffee shops and plans to open 60 new coffee shops each year after that. So I need to come up with an explicit formula first. So I need a P sub 0 and I need a D value.
$370 is your P sub 0.
370 is my P sub 0. I started with 370 coffee shops.
60 is your D.
60
Yeah.
is my D. I'm opening 60 new ones every year after that. So that makes my explicit formula P sub n equals 60n plus 370. So now that I have that, I should be able to answer these lovely questions that they want to know. So first off, they want to know, how many Java coffee shops will there be in 2020?
Put in 15.
Why am I putting in 15?
Because 2020 minus 2005.
Okay. Remember, we started in 2005. It's now 2020. So that means my n value is 15. It's only gone up 15 years. Okay. Don't just look at it and assume that you're going to plug in 20 because it's 2020. So P sub n equals 60 times 15 plus 370. How many coffee shops do they have in 2020?
1270.
You said what?
1,270.
1,270 coffee shops. That's a lot of stores. They might turn into the next Walmart. You doubt it? Okay. They want to know, in what year will Cosmic Java reach the milestone of having 2,000 coffee shops?
Are we going to divide the payments for 3 here or no?
We're still going to use this formula, but now they tell you how many coffee shops.
So put it in 2,000.
Where does 2,000 go?
And then, damn, let you have it.
Remember, here we solve for P sub
Oh,
n,
it's 60.
and that gave me coffee shops.
60.
So you change it from 60 to 2.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh, no. No, we're not
Okay,
doing none of that.
hold on. Back up. Back up to the equation. When I created this is 60 times how many years?
Okay.
So this is years,
We said in. Oh.
but n is years. They gave us coffee
So
shops.
we do it backwards?
So you
Yeah.
do it backwards, so 2,000 actually goes
Right there.
here,
Oh,
Okay.
this the where we do the thing. Alright.
where we do the thing.
Alright.
Okay, so this time they technically gave us our y value. Okay, you've got to be careful with that. So they give you coffee shops, not time. N represents the time in years. P sub n represents your coffee shop. So 2,000 equals 60n plus 370.
This is where we do. We gotta solve for n.
Yes, we need to solve for n this time. So my first step then would be
Subtract the 370 from both sides.
perfect.
And you go have 1,000 cents of change. I don't know the rest.
1,630 equals 60n.
Then you divide it by 60. Boom.
I don't know.
Somebody want to tell me what n equals, since Johnny's like, I don't know.
27.16.
We didn't have the answer.
Okay. What does the question actually ask you for?
Years.
What year?
2,000.
What year? What do I got to do with this? This tells me how many years it's taken,
So you
but what
plug it
year
in.
is it?
You plug it in.
So then that's when you get.
Do you plug it in for n?
Sugar honey iced tea.
Sugar honey iced tea.
Hold on.
If I would plug that in, that would tell me how many coffee shops I have. So that should go back and tell me
You
it's
moved it
2,000. I want to know what year we're in if 27.17 years have gone past.
It says 0.60.
So just add it to
2,716.
Add it to the 2005.
What?
Add it to what, Gianni?
2005.
Add it to 2005. So we started this whole shebang in 2005. 27.16 years have gone past. What year is it then?
2032.16.
2032.16. So somewhere between 2032 and 2033, we've grown to 2,000 coffee shops.
Dang. 2032, you gonna be 31.
I'm right.
That's wild.
You want to be grown man yet?
Nah.
Yeah, you look. I will be
Be old.
Dang, that crazy.
Do you realize how old I will be in 2032?
You gonna be in what?
How many more years is that from now?
You gonna be in your 40s? Ooh.
Oh, I will. 44.
Oh, that's not too old. He's still
That's
young.
not bad.
But y'all are sitting here going, oh, I'm going to be old in
Oh, wait,
2032.
That's
was
still.
just-
I don't really care.
I don't want to get old.
Bro,
I just.
I low key do want to get
44.
old.
I want to
Sign
know
out.
how I'm gonna be when I'm old. Like,
Somebody needs to come up with a formula to keep my baby the size that she is right now, too. Because
The Benjamin Button.
I'm over this getting old stuff. All right, so let's talk about nuclear waste. A nuclear power plant produces 12 pounds of radioactive waste every month. The radioactive waste is stored in a special storage tank. On January 1st of 2000, there were 25 pounds of radioactive waste in the tank. Let P sub n represent the amount of radioactive waste in pounds and in the storage tank after n months. So n represents months, and your P sub n is how much waste I have. We need to find an explicit formula first. So I need a P sub 0. How much waste do we start with?
25.
25.
And then the wedding ain't gonna be 12.
And then my D value here is 12. We're adding 12 pounds every month. So that means my explicit formula is P sub n. 12 times n plus 25. There's part A. Cha-ching.
Wow.
Okay. Part B says, your tank can only hold 217 pounds safely. Which means if we put any more than that in, it's going to spill. You're going to end up with some kind of cancer or something because, you know, nuclear waste is all kinds of crazy. Okay. How soon should the power plant purchase a new tank? So they give me 217 pounds. If I want to solve this, where does 217 go?
Wait, what?
In the end. It's the end, like the Y.
It's like your Y value. Remember, P sub n is your radioactive waste, and n represents how many months.
I said end.
It's not n. That's n. This is P sub n.
Man, same thing.
No, not same thing.
How did we just say P instead?
There you go. I would take P over n. Equals 12 times n plus 25.
Did what we saw for what name again?
We're going to solve for it again. So we subtract 25, and we get
192.
192.
And then you divide by 12.
And then we divide by 12.
And you'll get 16. So n equals 16.
16 what?
I mean,
Years, months?
Months.
Months.
N is in months. You've got to understand what you're talking about. Okay, 16 months. They could give you this problem on the test and give you 16 months, 16 years, 16 seconds. And if you pick the wrong one, you're screwed. You've got to know what you're talking about. Okay? It's all about comprehending the question. Okay. Part C. Suppose the power plant intends to sell all of its nuclear waste. So they're going to sell it all. Okay. They're going to give it to Yucca Mountain in 2005.
They're selling it to me, so I can, start my shit.
What you gonna do with nuclear waste?
I'm poured on you.
Turn to the Hulk.
That's so sweet. So they want to know if it's 2005, how many tanks do they have to sell?
So 5 years went by.
5 years have gone by.
And we go up by what's the name per month?
So we're talking 5 years. What number are we plugging in?
5.
It's gonna be where N is. Oh no, wait.
5 years. What is N in?
Months.
Oh.
So that means we have to turn that 5 years into
So I need to convert years to months. So 5 years have gone past, and that means how many months?
How many months it is?
Oh wait, 60.
12 months a year. So that means I've got 60 months. So when I plug this in, you've got to be careful with that. 12 times 60, not 12 times 5. And I guarantee you, if this is a problem on the test, they're going to give you both answers, whether you would plug in 5 or plug in 60. Why? Because if you plug in the wrong number, you still got an answer choice. And you're just like, yes, I got an answer, so I'm going to circle it.
So basically,
You've got to think it through. They pick choices that they know that you can come up with, so you pick them and lose. Okay. It's smarter than the game.
That was deep.
Okay? So, P sub n. What's that give me?
piece of it. 745.
745 pounds of waste. What's the question asking?
How many tanks will
the power plant need?
How many tanks? Well, do you have that answer yet? No.
But we know that it can't be on 217 pounds.
But part B said that my tanks can't hold any more than 217 pounds. So if I have 745 and each tank holds 217, what does that then give me?
3.43.
Is that the
Okay,
number of tanks?
3.43 would be your number of tanks. Unfortunately, though, the company cannot chop a tank
So they might as well.
down to 0.43, so they're going to actually sell all 4 tanks. They're going to sell the 3 that are full and that partial tank. Because remember, they're getting rid of all of the waste. So they're not going to keep that tank that's not filled yet. They're going to give it all.
Where'd you get 217 from?
217 was from part B where it said the tanks hold 217 pounds of waste safely.
Why would anyone buy nuclear waste? Like, what would you do with it? It ain't gonna do nothing. It's worthless.
Okay, you ready for some more math one?
Oh, so we done?
We got one more set of math one,
That's a half.
and then we
Like
can
10 years.
pause. But that also means we've got to do part 2 tomorrow, and your test is Friday.
Hold on.
Okay, so this means if we don't get to the full review, yes, today is Wednesday. It's going by fast. Okay, so if we do not get to the entire review
Mhm.
tomorrow, it is up on Canvas with the answer sheet. You are going to be 100% responsible for reviewing on your own. Yes, John.
I got the videos.
Like real fast. Come on. We're waiting on you. I don't want you to miss this because this is some good stuff. This is some good stuff. All right. So
No.
we're going to step back to the world of Math 1. You ready?
No.
Woo! Here we go. If I were to give you, you have a point on a line at 2,32, and you have a point on a line at, I don't know, 6,74. How would I find slope? Does anybody remember that magical formula that would give us slope?
I'm not thinking hot puppies.
That's the equation.
It's this.
It's what? Okay, so Gianni's like, all right, well, I want to plot the point 2,32, and then I'm going to plot the point way up here and count. I don't have time for that.
Apparently, Gianni.
Oh,
Crazy.
you thought you was right.
That
Crazy.
is right. That is right. It's just not the most smart way to go.
Work smarter,
Hold
not
on.
harder.
I might have a trick. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute.
You have to use a calculator.
Hold on. Hold on.
It's not working.
Let me see if I can do this. Because this would be
I mean, I
awesome.
thought I was funny, but you just.
Because you know how easy this would
I
be?
wasn't.
You was laughing. I know you wasn't laughing at me.
I wasn't laughing for real.
You was laughing at.
Wasn't for real.
Okay.
Third period's going to kill me when I tell them this tomorrow.
Okay.
If it works.
Oh,
If it works. You're so true.
You might as well have to.
no.
Maybe. Let me do one that I actually have an answer to. All right, so we've got 9, enter, 25.
If it works, he's come up with a new way.
If it works,
If it
y'all,
works-
I'm going to be your saving grace.
If it works, that means Gianni's came up with a new way to do this. He's a mathematician.
I'm trying to come up with the equation through the calculator, and I'm pretty sure I can do this.
Johnny, if it works, you're a mathematician.
I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh, it works.
He's a mathematician.
Woo! If you do not have your calculator, I suggest you go get one. Okay? So I'm going to run you through what your calculator is actually doing for you. But who remembers the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find your slope? Where you had to plug in your y values and subtract them, your x values and subtract them.
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay, so this would give you your d value.
Oh.
Okay, then you would have to plug everything back in, and you would have to find your p sub 0. Mm-hmm. So what example 1 has given us? Oh, third period's going to kill me because we really just suffered through all this. All right, so when they give you two numbers, okay, that aren't side by side, so they give me that p sub 9 is 1,024. So this is p sub 9 is 1,324. Sorry, that looks awful. And then clear down here at p sub 25 is 2,684. Well, how the heck do I find slope from that? You would have to do this. So, what I want everybody to do, hold on. Jonathan, I'm going to have to ask you to scooch some way so I can just get to my mouse here. All right, you ready for this? So, these are your 2 points, okay? P sub 9 and P sub 25. So, let me pull up. I feel super smart right now, and I can't believe I didn't think about this before. Think smarter, not harder. All right. Large screen. Okay. Clear out your calculator. You know, everybody likes to start. What the heck? Second plus 7, 1, 2. All right. Go to your stat. Okay. You're going to go to edit. Where you see L1 is where you want to put your X values, or technically your N values. Okay, so here we would put 9, because you have P sub 9, and right below it you would put in 25. Okay, those are your X values, P sub 9 and P sub 25. Everybody see where I got that from, right? Okay, then you're going to scoot over to L2. You're going to put the Y values that are associated with that. So my first one is P sub 9 is 1,324. And my second one that goes with P sub 25 is 2,684. Bam. Okay.
Okay. So
now, you need to go back to stat. You're going to use the right arrow key to go over and highlight calculate. What kind of equation is this that we're looking for? Arithmetic sequence draws what kind of a picture? A line, a linear equation. So if you go down to choice number 4 where it says linear regression, and if you hit enter,
it gives us the answer.
It gives you the equation.
How did you get to that?
To the linear regression, if you hit stat, go over to calculate, and choice number 4, and hit enter. 85 is your D value. B is your P sub 0 value.
You said A is your what?
A is your D value.
And then that's the B is the P sub.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't get to that.
All right, let me see. Hold on. It might be. It might have some kind of a difference. Oh. Or calculate. And then choose. Okay. And edit.
Maybe I didn't do one.
Oh, you just have to keep hitting enter. So when you go to stat, yours, it's just weird. Because yours is a little bit more advanced because it's a plus. So when you go to calculate, you're still gonna go to choice number 4. But you're just telling it that you want to use list 1 for your X, so you have to hit enter. You want to use list 2 for your Y. We don't care about the frequency list. And once it gets to calculate, then you hit enter. It gives it to you. Okay? So what this means is if I go back to this screen, maybe. Thank you. If I go back to this screen, my equation is P sub n equals 85n plus 559. Bam, there's your equation. That works every time.
I'm proud of you, Miss Smith.
559 is your seed. Oh, this is going to save so much heartache. And 85 is your common difference. 559 is your seed and 85 is your common difference. Woo! I like this. I completely forgot about that.
What you gonna tell your third one?
What you going to all the students you already taught this?
That's what they just said. What are you going to tell your third block?
You really gonna tell them?
I might just torture them. No, I'm not that mean. I'll tell them tomorrow.
Why?
That's cool.
Because you talking to them about that, so we might as well keep it on the low.
Keep it on the lowdown. All right. So do me a favor. Now that we've got this shortcut, come up with the equation for these 3. And then they also want you to go back and find the 8th generation. So once you come up with the equation, you need to plug in 8 and get me your number. Okay, so take a couple minutes. Get used to your calculator on how to do this. Okay. This is awesome.
We gotta clear it out again.
Yes. Or you just have to go back over your numbers and change them.
Why do you have? Oh,
That's perfect. That's your equation. There you go. De nada.
I forgot. Oh, they were.
Oh my God, that's going to save so much time on that one too. Oh, why have I been torturing these kids all these years?
Who knows?
I've taught this for 3 years, and this is the first time that I've thought about doing this. I love it. Y'all make me smarter.
You're welcome.
Work smarter, not harder. She said, "You're welcome." You're going to make me start singing that song now because my husband already had it stuck in my head this morning. Thank you. You're welcome. What can I say except you're welcome?
Oh God, I used to hate that.
I like it.
Because of just saying it all.
You're waddling away. This guy.
Pop the mother of sweat. Woo.
The greatest gift in my world came yesterday. Oh no. Okay. Let me step back. Is my daughter. But the greatest gift past my daughter was the gift we got yesterday because her face this morning was like, oh. So I told you all my husband and I decided to get ourselves an early Christmas gift, and we just got a combined gift, and we got a 65-inch smart TV.
No, you didn't tell us that.
Those are good. Now plug in 8 for each one of those and find a good one.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we bought ourselves a 65-inch smart TV, you know, so it hooks up to all the wireless and all that. Is a good Black Friday sale. That was our gift to each other. He split half, I split half.
Well, also just got it first.
We put it up last night after she went to bed. She comes down this morning, and Moana's on the TV, and she just went, because he was so big. She's like, it was the greatest thing ever. Like, her face just lit up like a light bulb. I'm telling you, y'all think Christmas is great now. Just wait till y'all have kids. Because watching their face on Christmas morning is so worth every second.
No. I got 2 brothers. I'll depend on my nephew.
Oh, I'm not saying go out and have babies right now. No. Y'all need to get your lives settled. But I'm telling you, I waited till I was 31 to have children.
Never. I'll adopt. watches.
I wanted to make sure my life was stable. I had a house. No.
I used to wake up.
You know, it's Christmas. See, the thing that tortured my parents though is they would stay up all night because Santa Claus always decorated the tree. Everything else was up. The tree was up, but Santa decorated the tree before you put the presents on. It's been a tradition. My grandparents did it for my dad and everything else. So they would stay up all night after we went to bed on Christmas Eve. And then, you know, little kids, they up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's go open presents. Santa came, Santa came. And my parents are dragging butt out of bed because they had just gone to bed at like 1. They're like, oh.
I remember I walked in on my mom and grandma wrapping my presents. I was high. I was like, dang, what's that?
So my car, my bicycle, like the tag in the car. I'm like, so I figured, oh, we had to come get it because Santa Claus was at the time. I'm like,
His legs, bro.
I was a horrible child. Because as soon as I found out that Santa wasn't real, my little brother's 5 years younger than me. So I'm like 9. Santa's not real. My brother's 4.
Yeah.
And I went and I looked at him and I was like, Mom and Dad go shopping. Those are all the gifts that they bought you. Who the heck is Santa Claus? He ain't real. And my brother's like,
Bro, I believe in the
no, so y'all found y'all TV though?
Bro, that's yeah.
See, I'm gonna be all kind of extra and go buy that like glitter spray paint and spray paint the dollar with glitter so it looks like fairy dust before I put it in her.
Okay, that's creative. That's creative.
And then when you
Nah, but
got
my mom,
that
she
glitter
put my
on
tooth in a
her
plastic
cheeks
bag
and
with
it
the
ain't
money.
coming out.
Then I'm gonna be mad.
I don't believe in the
when you
tooth
start
fairy.
to tick yourself
I never
off
believed
because
in
you
it.
did all
I
that.
caught my mother. Tried to put that damn thing in my pillow. Caught her.
Right, bro. Tooth fairy. I used to wake up with money under my pillow. I'm thinking like, that's gotta be real.
No, I caught my mother putting the dollar
Right,
under
like,
there.
how did my mama get under here, under my pillow and all?
I caught her under there.
I woke up. It was like, what you doing?
I would have like, she's hearing me. I probably been dumb. Like, hey, mom, leave that for the tooth fairy. We gotta see.
I'm not giving up yet.
I'm looking for my pencil.
You're looking for your pencil.
I don't know where it went.
Yeah, the stuff before that?
I don't chapter 9.
Boy, I ain't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
The stuff before this.
Chapter 9 and a little bit though.
And we don't need that, do we?
No, we need it. We need things.
If I gave you a problem and asked you to identify the recursive formula, the p sub n minus 1 plus 25, you should be able to do that.
I mean,
I would do that.
Yeah, that's
You
easy.
can find the pattern and then just pick a formula.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You should be fine.
okay.
I'm talking about chapter 9 was not, well, maybe I was just on.
It's just a different way to do it.
Well, I don't like that one.
Yeah.
That's
I
okay.
was so confused.
That's okay. But you good with this?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, you good. We got you. Hey.
I just hope I get it. I don't think I get it.
Okay, you are 100% accurate, but your numbers are in the wrong spots.
See what I'm saying?
So 5 would go in front of N. This would go here.
So
This would,
swap it.
yes. Just swap your numbers. Other than that, you're absolutely fantastic.
Right, Jonathan.
Woo, 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 woo.
It was the other way around.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Okay. Go to stat. Go to edit. Okay. So just scroll over to list 1. Your X is going there, so you're 12 and 27.
Yeah.
So all of your X values have to go there, and then the Y's that associate with it. There you go. That'll help. Awesome.
who came up?
There's your equation. You're welcome. Anybody else stuck on their calculator that needs me to come and show you?
No.
For the 8th generation,
Plug in, once you get your equation, plug in 8 for your 10 value. Hi. How are you? You're good? Listen, I can't complain.
You remember that?
No complaints here. I got you.
You don't want to say hi, I'm Carl?
I'm Paul. Oh, yeah, I think I did say Carl. I did say Carl. Sure.
Is that Jimmy
All right.
song?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Yoakum, give me the equation that goes with A. So it's going to be P sub n 5 n 262.
Yeah, Thomas.
Okay? That was these week. Okay? So, this is your equation. When they want the 8th generation, they want you to go ahead and plug in 8 for n. So what? .302 is your 8th generation. Okay. Yahia! What's my equation look like for this one? What's my D value?
16.
Not just 16. Negative. Negative. You have to show that it's going down. My Y values have gone down, so that's a negative. Okay? What's your starting value? 536. So then when I plug in 8, whoops, that should be a plus, not an equal this time. What do I get for the 8th generation? Anybody?
408.
408.
Or 88.
Let's see. Sacramento's got his back there. Sacramento! Give me the equation for this one, friend. 217. 8,022. So then when I plug in 8, I get 9,758.
Yeah, you really do.
Ooh, let me tell you.